Yes, my name is Juan Fernandez from the Película from Puerto Rico. Hey, Gabriel, nice to see you, and thank you for talking to me about the new Cheaper by the Dozen. So the movie opens with a really lovely sequence where we get to find out all the characters', dreams. So I wonder, was acting always the dream? If we would have seen you at a young age, or what was the dream? What did you think?
My
What you were going for?
first my first dream was I wanted to be Zorro and I would draw Z's in permanent marker all over my house. Then I wanted to become a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. But unfortunately, a couple things didn't grow that seemed to be prerequisites to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, along with my lack of rhythm. And then I wanted to be a defense attorney for most of my life. I was studying for the LSATs at UCLA, and I got an internship at a modeling agency, and the rest is history.
All right, so are we still looking for that Sorrow reboot? Is my question to you, because I mean that's fairly specific, and that's still sort of related to play and acting. So I mean, like, I
Listen,
don't
if
know.
we can make the Cheaper by the Dozen family brown, there can be a woman Zorro. I listen. We can let's throw it out there.
There you go. All right. So speaking of what you mentioned now, I was wondering, there is this sort of, for the longest time, there has been this Disneyfied version of family, but this is a family that there's a little bit of an element of, I'm a father of twins, so there's a little bit of an element of movie magic, but it lives in a reality what we're living. So was that always on the script? Was that something that you brought when you got on board? So if you talk about that to root it in our social reality, which makes it special.
Yeah, no, that was all in the script. Luckily, obviously Kenya Barris has a very large family that he writes about a lot. Jen Henry, also is a mom, and they infused all of that in the script. So by the time I came on and read it, I was like, I get this, I live this. Let's make a couple tweaks, but yeah, it was pretty much all on the page, and everyone could appreciate it because that whole notion of traditional family was just another way of shaming families of color, because we generally live with multi-generational, folks under one roof. We're going to have, grandma, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighborhood folks. We take care of everybody. We believe we are our brother's keeper in most, communities of color, but rarely are those families positioned to be celebrated, much less represented on TV. I think the first time I saw like a multi-generational brown family on the big screen, all with different gifts, was Encanto. Like, we just don't get to see
Wow.
it that often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be painfully honest. So yeah, we were not compromising on this. We had to delve into certain issues, in a more age appropriate, kid friendly, family friendly way. But we
Hmm.
go there. We absolutely go there.
All right. So I mean, there's how you see yourself, but then there's our perspective of you. So there's that scene where we go to the basketball game and the cheerleaders come out, and I was wondering, I wonder if the people, Gabriel Union is in the stands, and I wonder, so that means that ISIS from Bring It On is watching. So was that, like, did they feel the pressure, or did you guys talk about that at all, or it was not mentioned and did not come through at all?
You know what, there were professional dancers that were out there with them, but a lot of them had been cheerleaders in a previous life. So between takes they were like, tell us everything about Bring It On. And I was like, okay, day one. Yeah, so, and my little sister is a competitive cheerleader, and Zaya was a competitive cheerleader for a little while, so I had a lot to talk about with the dancers, and I wanted to start stretching and get my old sea legs back and get out there, but yeah, it was just the guys.
All right, there we go. So obviously, being from Puerto Rico, I kind of have to ask you. I don't know if you've come back after shooting Bad Boys 2. What do you remember? When I say Puerto Rico, what comes to mind? What flashes in your head?
Ooh, old San Juan.
Mhm.
Yeah, just like, because the first time I went wasn't for Bad Boys 2, and I was more of a tourist, and I just wanted to learn as much as I could,
Mm.
um, about Puerto Rico, having so many Puerto Rican friends who were very proud of the heritage and the history, but I wanted to learn everything. So, of course, I think every like day one of like tourism in Puerto Rico is like you're in old San Juan. But when we were filming, there were we had a lot of fun in some of the local bars I don't even know if I would call them nightclubs per se, because it was
We
very local.
call them chinchorros, just so you know. There's no translation, but it's like a dive, kind of. It's the equivalent of dive. So chinchorro is the word you're looking for.
Chinchurro.
Chinchorro. Chin.
Chinchorro. Chinchorro.
There you go. You got it.
Very good time. Yeah, but we kept it local when we were, when we were filming, we kept it local. The Carlos Beltran and them, they've been trying to get us back out to a different part of, Puerto Rico. So one day we got to take them up on their offer.
Most definitely. We look forward to having you back. So let me ask you this. There's been different iterations of Cheaper by the Dozen. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that it's sort of every generation is going to have like this version of the fantasy of this gigantic family struggling to make it better? What do you think speaks to us?
I think because literally every person born is born into a family, whether you acknowledge them, you try to get away from them, you love them, you love all of them, the extended family, but everybody has a family of some sort, chosen family. So everyone can relate to this. But what becomes a little harder to relate to as people of color is that our cultures and our skin tones and hair textures and all of that had never been reflected in those other films. So for this film in 2022, we are giving you a little bit of everybody, and we want to try to bring in as many families as possible and show, every family is worthy of representation and celebration, and we're trying to hit as many folks as possible.
All right, so my time is up. Pleasure talking to you. Stay safe wherever you are. And I don't know, I'm just going to pitch Chinchorro the movie, see if I can bring you guys down to shoot it. So
listen, me and Will Smith, sign us up.
There we go. I just get, associate producer credit. It'll be fine. I'll hand out shots on the set. All right, take care. Stay safe. Right. Bye-bye.